Hi guys, I put a question box on Instagram probably 2 weeks ago now, just asking what people would like to know, what people would like to see on the channel. So I'm going to have a flick through that, answer some questions and maybe plan some other videos. Yeah, let's get going. So, World's Strongest Man asked an intro into learning how to coach others. I would study videos from like the 30s and 40s in Russia, pausing them, putting the subtitles in Google Translate, figuring out what they're doing, figuring out little tips and tricks. And I made sure never to limit my learning to the sport we were dealing with. I think a lot of people get really tunnel vision with coaching. I coach strongmen, I coach powerlifters, so I only need to know what these guys are doing. But if you look at jumping, got people doing parkour, if they're bad at jumping, they'll die. So look at what they're doing. Stuff with grip, look at climbers. Again, if their grip fails, worst case they'll die, best case they've failed what they're doing, they have to start over again. So, I suppose to sum it up, don't get tunnel vision. Explore the whole world of sport as a whole and then take bits of information out of it. A very important thing I learned early on was to sort of pick bits of information out. You may be listening to someone, maybe right now, thinking this person doesn't know what they're on about. But if you can take one thing from it that benefits you or benefits your athletes, no conversation's been wasted. Even if you use it as a process of elimination and you can sort of set your own course through not wanting to do what other people are doing. So Craig McKay asked how I got into coaching. I answered that pretty thoroughly on a previous question, but being more philosophical and more honest about it, I'm not a very good athlete myself. I've not found my sport. Got something inside me that says I will find a sport, something that I'll be able to do better than anyone else and be able to leave a legacy. But until I find that, what I'm going to do is help other people reach their potential and push to be the best athlete they're capable of being. A key part of that is just being honest with people. A lot of people think they'll be offended or they'll offend someone if you say look, what you're doing isn't working, you need to change this, you need to change that. But if you're not willing to be honest with someone, you don't really want them to succeed. One of my wonderful spam accounts has asked what's something I resent paying for, please DM me if you answer. I'm 100% not going to DM you, but one thing I really resent paying for, getting access to places that, in my opinion, should be free, especially when nature's concerned. There's a Freedom to Roam Act and the Ramblers Act, which means the countryside in Britain should be free to access for everyone, so long as they're not ruining it, creating mess, and looking after the space themselves. MJ Strength has asked for some videos on grip. At Unit 16, we're really fortunate to have some awesome equipment from David Horn and the World of Grip. So I want to do a proper video on that, and I think I'm going to wait until the gym can be open properly so we can really explore it, get some really good guys in, play around with grip and get a really broad scope and spend some time having a bit of fun lifting some cool objects. Another thing that I'm a really big fan of for grip training is going to be cut in now with a graphic-y thing. It's just over there. It's our hangboard, a bit of campusing. I've just built a crack for some crack climbing and our grippers. We use all that stuff to build a really good strong grip. Personally, I really enjoy getting out and doing some climbing, so it works not only to build people's grip for different sports, it's also very specific for what I want to build myself. And since I own the gym with Shiv, we both like climbing, we want stuff we're going to enjoy as well. Marshall371 has asked for a video on explosive and jumping training. We're really lucky that Ben Simons, or Ben the Bounce on Instagram, will be training out of this gym when people are allowed to do fun things and travel and do stuff together. So I'm going to wait for Ben to be here, and we're going to do hopefully a really good video explaining sort of the explosive side of training, be it sport specific or for strength sports in general, or general sport training as well. J Bauer Strength has asked about how to include variation and exercise selection in your programming. So how I do it is I split my programs up by compound lift. So we sort of have a press, a squat, a deadlift and an events day. If people are training more than 4 times a week, then we sort of get more specific on those days, and if they're training less, then it's a little bit broader. But from there, we sort of honestly assess an athlete's weakness, then look at variations that are really going to help. So deadlift day, if you are weak off the floor, then a low block deadlift will help. So we'll box squats as well in a deadlift stance, and you can step those up by using a safety bar. Things like that you break down while you're failing a lift, look at the muscles you need to work on, and then look at the best exercises for that. It's really interesting to look at bodybuilding forums and look at bodybuilders, because they're very good at training specific muscles. If you've got a weakness, start training some bodybuilding movements but with heavier weights and treat them as a strength exercise. Juji Mufu is phenomenal at this. There's really good information out on YouTube about just sort of training a very broad aspect and being a multi-sport athlete. So another spam account has asked, if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Please DM us your answer. Again, I'm 100% not going to DM you my answer, but probably salads, because it sounds like a bit of a toss answer, but you can put anything on them. And if you put salads and meat in a wrap, you've got tacos, which are an amazing food. If you put salad, meat in between buns, you've got burgers. So salad, and then all the other stuff you put with it, you can make some awesome meals with. We have a question again from World's Strongest Man on Instagram. Biggest mistakes people make when they hit a plateau and how to work through that point. One of the biggest mistakes, and it sounds really easy and like I'm not really answering the question, is people let themselves hit plateaus. Good coaches avoid this in their athletes. Keep things moving, spot weaknesses that are developing before they become weaknesses that hamper someone's progress. However, if you do hit a point where you've plateaued and you think you're not moving forward, stick with your program for a little bit. Don't just think, you know, a plateau for a novice lifter could be, I've not hit a PB this week, so I want to change everything I'm doing. Whereas other guys at a high level of the sport spend a year chasing a kilo, maybe 2 kilos. So a slight change in mindset can help sort of that pressure you put on yourself. The other thing to do, if you think what you're doing isn't working, you're developing weaknesses, is talk frankly with your coach about what you want to do and what you think you need to do to move forward. Good coaches will take that on board and they'll help you develop as an athlete. If your coach doesn't want to do that, then it might be time to look towards a different coach, or sort of have a very serious conversation with them rather than just bringing it up casually. If you're doing your own programming, you need to be critical with yourself, you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to look at your own videos from the front, from the side, from 45 degrees, spot weaknesses, and do things you don't want to do. Don't just keep going through max and failing it. Build volume up, build stabilization muscles, hammer the core work, hammer things that wouldn't necessarily be really obvious to work on. But as Mark Bell said, strength is never a weakness, and developing a whole system that's as strong as possible sort of alleviate the risk of hitting those plateaus really hard. Right guys, hopefully that gives you a bit of information about what we're doing soon, things we've got upcoming, and as always, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff, and drop me a message on Instagram if there's anything else you want covering in future videos. Thanks.